welcome. This is just going to be a quick game of Prestige 20 against the Storm. As you can see, I'm just near the end of a cycle. I've been unlocking the difficulties one by one, haven't had any losses yet, so the last city was one on Prestige 20, and this one was one on 19, 18, 17, 16, 15. Generally been taking about 5 to 6 years for each win. I should be able to squeeze one more in before this cycle. Yeah, I'm just going to play a game, see how it goes, enjoy the new difficulty, and maybe share some tips and tricks along the way. Maybe I'm doing things incorrectly or suboptimally at points. It'd be useful to hear what I'm doing wrong. I'm just going to take this fertile ground modifier here. I've never played on cursed royal woodlands, so I'm tempted, but for the sake of the video and just finishing the cycle cleanly before it reaches this time limit, I'd like to take a beneficial modifier if possible. So I'm going to start here. For me personally, I always prioritize harpies because they are by far the best resolve farmers in the game. So I'm definitely looking at both of these caravans. This one clearly is stronger in every way except having tools. That may be worth something because this is useful for opening glade events and stuff, but this is a lot of food in comparison, and it has some fiber which can be very useful. So on any map which has at least a decent amount of fertile soil, this one has a lot. I like to take a farm of some sort. I usually prefer the ones which take grain or herbs because you can process them into wheat and make things like biscuits and pies, which tend to be better than anything you can make from the plantation. You can kind of use these for skewers and stuff, but it's a bit weaker, I would say. So personally, I would take a small farm here, even though it is 1 point more expensive than the plantation. The amber is very expensive, unfortunately. That could persuade me to take a plantation instead, because on Prestige 19 you have to pay 5 amber for each glade you discover, so having amber early is very important. So you know what, that is enough to persuade me that this is better. I really wouldn't I really don't enjoy paying 4 for amber though. I think I've had it offered for 2 every time I've had it so far, so it's been a steal. I wasn't aware it could even go up as high as 4. But anyway, I think that's going to be how we're playing it. It's hard to pass up on clay and things and cheap fabric, but we do have fabric materials to start with. We've got plenty of food, so I think this is runnable. I don't really want to wait until I get a trading post up before I can start unlocking glades, so I kind of have to take the amber here, which means I have to take the plantation instead of one of the better farms, in my opinion. So yeah, I think I value all this food and the fiber over the tools, but that could be a mistake. Definitely could be, because food is replenishable, especially on this sort of map. So, do I want to re-evaluate that? Am I likely to get fiber? Am I likely to be handicapped by fiber? I'm not likely to be handicapped by fiber, so I suppose I will opt for this one, even though I don't particularly like it. I think it just works better because we're not too hampered by a lack of food. We have the ability to get the fiber resources. The only thing that we might struggle for in the early game is stone and clay to make bricks, but unfortunately I just cannot really see a way to squeeze this into my starting setup. So this is how I'm going to run it, and I will see what I get. My starting hand. So just a quick rundown in case you're not familiar with all the prestige difficulties. Spoiler alert, obviously. The important ones are obviously the first one. You require 18 prestige to win instead of 14. Then there's just a moderate thing as difficulty increases. The building materials one is quite impactful. It really makes you have to focus your infrastructure a bit harder. This is quite a strong difficulty increase, but again, obviously at this point in the game is easy enough. Food consumption, luxury consumption up by 50%. This is very hindering at times. The trade goods being worth 50% less is crippling, but at the same time, trading is too good, so this is reasonable. There are 2 blight rot modifiers in total, so you do have to kind of be conscious of your blight rot. Even as early as year 2, you could be building a blight rot post. We have 2 fewer blueprint choices, which is really, really impactful. Now we're only starting with 2. Cornerstone choices is increased by 2. Oh, sorry, this means I get 2 instead of 4 on each blueprint selection. Normally I start with 3. It's one of the later difficulties that will nerf that to 2. This 1 fewer initial blueprint. You have half as many cornerstone choices. This one it makes the game easier, frankly. Storm lasts 4 minutes instead of 2. It's a big deal, gotta play around it. Hunger is stronger if you have nothing to eat, double the penalty. Sacrificing is inefficient, not a big deal. You have to pay amber to discover glades, or villagers will be forced to leave. This is a big deal, which is why you pretty much always want to take amber to start with. I can't see a reason why you wouldn't, even at the cost of 4. And this one really isn't a big deal. Impatience is a buff to your game, really. Makes things easier. Because hostility will decrease. Impatience will decrease your hostility. Each level here gives you minus 15 hostility, which makes it easier to keep your people at high resolve, particularly during the storm. So as long as you don't lose, having your resolve up around here is good. Which is kind of an odd design choice, but there you go. Now clan hall. I do have 2 species which really like brawling, and 1 which likes religion. This is a nice buff to camps, really strong buff to camps. But at the same time, it's very far out of our way, and we might just be better off taking fabric efficiency early on. This is definitely a bit of a toss-up. I wouldn't say either of these buildings are particularly strong early game. I mean, well, okay, this one is definitely the strongest one early game, but this one comes into play quite soon. I think they buffed this from 50 to 100% recently, so that does change the evaluation quite a bit. Especially because you'll be having maybe 6 to 8 gatherers likely at some point, so using 3 people to double those is just ridiculous. But fabric could be a pinch point, especially because you will want to be spamming harpy houses when you can, so I will go with the weaver. I may regret that decision. Market. Again, I don't really like taking these buildings too early in the run, but it is nice to be able to secure your future. I don't think this is worth much. I don't think these are worth a great deal. I mean, harpies do like this. Luxury is a weak form of luxury. So, cookhouse it is. Skewers and biscuits are fantastic for both of these. Biscuits only for harpies. So, cookhouse it certainly is. I could leave this until I see my keystones and stuff, but I'm just going to take this now. So, we did start with clay, which is very fortunate. It would have been a bit tricky otherwise. So, I'm going to start off with my usual setup, which is this sort of configuration. I'll flesh out the rest later. Now, with things like woodcutters camps, which you can move for free, you should just be building them as close as you can to your warehouse and then move them into the position you want later. So, make sure your harpies are in the hearth, because these are the strongest bonus. Gives everyone +5 to carrying capacity, which is a big deal. Don't really care about the lizard bonus. The only thing you'd consider putting in there is lizards when you need to hit specific threshold, or dwarves when you want to be fuel efficient, or if you don't have harpies. Humans are a nerf, frankly, because they reduce your impatience gaining rate, and as I said before, impatience is actually making your life easier if you accumulate a lot of it, so I will make sure these get built first. I will make sure they all avoid glades, because I don't want to be cracking into stuff that I'm not intending to. So this is fine for now. I will definitely be making this for the clay ASAP, so I'll give that a modest priority, and there we go, have at it. One thing to check early on is that you're not using any of your luxuries unnecessarily. I didn't start with any, so I'm all good. I could do with preferring to use mushrooms instead of meat, because meat has a useful recipe in here. So, well, so does mushrooms actually, so they're both the same, doesn't make a difference. Still better to use a stack of one than the other. So yeah. Weaver requires 12 planks, so I won't be getting that up for a little while. Here we go. I tend to play exclusively on 3x speed and just pause when I need to make decisions. So, I wish to find one glade in year 1 and go from there. Obviously I'm looking for fertile ground as early as I can, so I can plop one of these plantations down, get food going. Let's get you guys started. So I'm looking at my hostility thresholds. At the moment I would need to unemploy 3 woodcutters to go down to hostility level 0 for the storm. If I open up one glade, which I will do this year, then that will change the threshold to, it will still be the same, 3 unemployed. No, it'll be 4 unemployed. And if I unlock a second glade, it'll actually be 5 unemployed woodcutters, so I don't really want to do 2 glades this early on, so I will just focus on making some space. I like to put my houses down on this side. I like to put the houses far away from the warehouse. I want all my industry buildings around here, and the houses will just be built as far away as I can reasonably get them. So now that the main thing has been built, I will just build out the rest of the roads and stuff. Very reasonable. I've got a few builders which don't have enough wood to do anything, so make sure they're being useful at all times. Let's see what this glade yields us. In fact, if I were being smart, I should leave this until I see my cornerstones, because you can get bonuses for unlocking glades, so just bide some time using the control key to avoid doing the glades. There's our cornerstone. So pie production is mega efficient. I do not have a pie building, do I? No. But it's really powerful if you can get it going. Firekeeper's armor is... it doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. You can leave some buildings at 3 blight rot instead of taking them down, which can be decent. I wouldn't say it's a big deal. I think we go for... well, you know what? we're actually quite far away from pie because we're not starting with uh, the small farm like I normally would like to. So I might want to find something more impactful early on. This is really, really, really strong, but very conditional on what blueprints I get. So I tend to like to play it safe. I don't really want to try to high roll anything. I just want something that's consistently decent. This I wouldn't say really gives you any value. I don't think it's worth much. So this is nice early on because it's not a retroactive bonus like a lot of the other ones. You want it when you start opening caches, and I think we did start with tools. We did start with tools, so this could be nice, but 3 plant fiber per minute is just the strongest one, just straight up, so no questions. Although you could make an argument that since we've got a weaver, our fabric requirements are going to be pretty much nullified, especially with this tree type. You could say that, and I would see your logic, but you know, this run is going to go on for 60, 70 in-game minutes, so I'm not saying no to 200 plus plant fiber. It's just how it is. So the keystones have been, the cornerstone has been picked. Let's open up this glade. We did want to wait for orders as well. I forgot about that. This is ridiculous. Wow. What? I've never seen this before. And I happen to start with a caravan that can do it. That is insane. This is really nice as well because obviously I have plantation and I will be producing berries, which normally you only get 6, so this will give me 7. It's a good buff. Okay, this is really easy to fulfill, and you could say that this actually impacts my ability to gain more resolve, more reputation in the future. But this is such a ridiculous buff, and I could definitely see us being hampered by our log and plank, log and brick production. Ancient tablet. I don't really want to be taking ancient tablets because it gives you wildfire essence, which you can build into a hearth, which will allow you to make more reputation later. You could make an argument for this, but I'd say it's definitely the weaker of these two. I'm definitely going for this one. I just feel like I have to. It's so incredibly strong. Well, this is a pretty easy pick. I've got enough amber to start with. It's not a big deal. Do I really want more villagers? I mean, I definitely do. Definitely do, but do I want to be giving up food? These are... They're going to take 3 production cycles. These will take 2 and 3 production cycles. That's 5 production cycles. It'll take 30 food to build this. Well, the grain does replace itself, I suppose. So it'll take 12 food to build this. Give me some amber and newcomers. It's good. And this isn't worth a great deal since I've already got a huge buff to it. But I do like having tools, but it probably should be this one. Normally I would always take this, just having plank production buffs is so strong, but since I've already got this one, guaranteed, and I don't rate 4 simple tools that highly, I'm just going to take this one. Unlocking 5 glades is definitely doable. It's kind of a pain because I've got 2 low resolve species to start with, so I'm not a huge fan of it. Can I even do it in 5 minutes 30 is the question. I've got 1 easy, 2 easy, 3 easy. I don't want to be breaking into any dangerous glades at this point. Not at all. Even if I did hold off on using my tools, I just would not want to do that. Yeah, so it's not going to be that one. It's not worth incrementing my hostility by so much this early on, even though these are really powerful benefits. I don't really need the stone that direly because my brick production is going to be through the roof. So I will take the one which is the most guaranteed, most likely to be fulfilled, and it has a bit of rollover into future reputation, even though this one does as well. The ancient tablets are, I'm probably only going to be getting them in year 3 at the earliest. So I think we're going for this one, and we're doing this now. And this gives us a choice. So neither of these are big impacts right now. Yeah, I can't really use either right now, so I'm going to sit on this. Not worth re-rolling it either. At least until I see my future options. Coats are not good for either of these species. Pigment is moderately useful for things like packs of trade or luxury goods, whichever one it is. And incense. So, I mean, ideally I'd like to take this if I see that there are some big nodes that would require this. But this could definitely be a reroll. Is there a point to do it now? There definitely is. But I'm not going to be... But anything good I get off of this, I'm not going to be building for a while anyway, so I should just inspect this glade at least before making my decision. Now, this would be advantageous to take this now before I farm these nodes. So I tell you what, if I get everyone housed, they're going to go up by 3. If I build decorations, they're going to go up by 2. You know, I didn't look at the mysteries at all. That's embarrassing. That's quite silly. This is really strong. Wow. That's really bad for us. That's really, really bad for us. Living matter is crippling. At higher difficulties. This one is freebie, just easy. And anything from like hostility 4 and upwards basically doesn't matter. Just don't get that high on hostility during the storm. So it's a pretty good hand, I would say. Living matter is very scary. We'll have to cross that bridge when we get to it. Definitely makes me want to focus my food infrastructure more, so obviously I'm looking at something like this more strongly. So as I was saying, I can get everyone up to 8 resolve pretty easily, 9 if I wanted to put a lizard in the hearth. And that would mean that I can tank hostility level 1. It would be a -8, so I'd be sitting at +1. Well, I don't even need a lizard in the hearth at that point, because I can just play some ping pong. I know I'm rambling a bit, I apologise. This is just kind of stream of consciousness gameplay, and I'm not really good at doing anything else, so that's how it's going to be. I will shove someone in here because I want to get bricks up and running as soon as possible. And I will obviously want to be making planks soon. And that's it, I think. I'm just going to run with it like this for a bit. I don't... So I can afford to take one more glade. Presuming that I don't get all these people in this year. Should be fine, should be reasonable. Let's make a beeline to this glade. Now that I've come to that conclusion, which I should have been able to draw at the start of the game pretty much, but there we go. How likely am I going to be able to get these up and running soon? Definitely doable. Definitely doable. Spread this consumption out here since I've decided they're equal. If I do it, I get stuff back, but I can't use great for food early on, so it's a bit awkward. Do I want to be crippling my food this early on? Get 4 more people into the mix? Yeah, I probably do. It's probably worthwhile. So let's get that up and going earlier. These houses don't really matter for a little while. Sea Marrow is amazing because you can sacrifice it to speed up glade events, which just reduces the lethality of dangerous glades by a lot. And more herbalist camp nodes, which is tempting, but it's not a reason to take this just yet, so I'm just going to sit on that. And I'm going to just clear up some space. I want to get more houses down. I've got 9 people, so 3 houses will do me for now. When I get these guys in, that'll change. I could definitely just unemploy some woodcutters for now. Getting people in earlier is worth my time. Okay. Food is going to be tight for a pinch, but will be good very quickly. Because these camps are coming through. Probably just worth building 2 of these bad boys, to be honest. As I say, build them as close as you can to your warehouse. I should be doing this. Buildings which are free to move, should definitely be doing that, but it's not a big time save. Let's get you guys over here and make some space for me. Do you want to be bringing your woodcutters closer to the source of the wood whenever you can? Obviously, as long as you're not interrupting their workflow. Get that going first, please. So I don't want to build any fabric because the weaver will do it more efficiently. So I want to get 12 planks going to build the weaver when I can. Let's just get some bricks going for now. And I will definitely want decorations. So let's do this. Now that we're getting close to the new year, let's do this. Getting close to the storm, rather. We are low on food, yes, I know. That's great. You guys have done your jobs. Put all the food back in the warehouse, please. Deliver it, and we're golden. Get some more shelters built for the 4 new people. Propagate this. In you come. Right, so I could just take this to see what my second blueprint unlock is now. Could re-roll it, which is a reasonable option because this isn't particularly strong. Herbs, berries, mushrooms. What do I find on this map natively? I find berries and mushrooms. So it's possible that there will be some big berry and mushroom nodes. I don't know if you actually can find big berry mushroom nodes. I'm going to assume that you can, although I can't say I ever recollect seeing them. I'm just going to take it. Which isn't necessarily the smartest play. Having the ability to make simple tools is big. Even though I don't have any source of these for now, I do have living matter, which will be spawning on the map at some point, So they tend to give you crystallized dew, maybe about half the time. And plank efficiency is just nice, so I will take that. I want to make the carpenter first. You've done your job, haven't you? So yeah, let's get you out of there. Move you out of the way, put the carpenter. Not really where I want to stick you, but I will stick you there anyway. So I've got a lot of people now. Just stick everyone in useful buildings. I've got no use for this building for now, so that should be fine. Let's keep a spare builder for now. Herbalist camp I will build at some point. These houses and these parks are the most important thing for now. Unemploy 1 woodcutter to hit resolve. Hostility 1, important. Threshold. Good. I will probably have to be playing some ping pong during this storm, but it's worth it to employ the woodcutters. I'm being very inefficient with what these guys are doing right now. I should be thinking about where I want to be beelining to on year 2. Am I going to be strong enough to take a glade? I will want a rain collector. And between my resin from the trees and spark dew, if I get this going now, and a plethora of planks, fabric and bricks, this should be a pretty safe glade. I will also forbid myself from consuming any more coal, because that's useful in some glades. So here we go. We'll run with it like this. This is just a very typical year 1, it really doesn't change much. I would have liked to see a farm somewhere, especially because we've got increased fertile ground. Alas, we were not lucky enough. Being very inefficient with these guys. Move the park somewhere where it doesn't matter. Move you somewhere easier to build, please. Okay, we are in our best position. We'll unemploy a woodworker when the storm comes. You're going to the storage, so it's a good time to unemploy you. Yep, let's get the lizards happy because they take longest to fall off. Stick you in here. Yeah, get all this good stuff going. You're on your break, so I'll replace you. Because I want some harpies spare to toss in this building. And we're good. Food is going to be in a pinch point very shortly. Get ready to eat. Yeah. So, what's this? What's this? Right. So, don't make any more planks, please. I want all your planks to be built in here. Yeah, this is the most efficient source of bricks I have, so let's just make 10 or so of these. Don't need any more fabric because the weaver will be coming into play. Wow, you made a lot of bricks in that building, okay. Yeah, okay, looks good. Don't need both of you sitting in there. Yep, I know I'm low on food. Let's get these bad boys up and running as soon as possible. Hunger is definitely making things a bit tricky for me here, but that's my fault. Lizard men in there, please. You are not being useful, so lizard men in here. And I want this to be built next. Could conceivably chuck some woodcutters into food stations. Probably not a terrible idea. That's not a terrible idea, is it? You go in there, please. Yeah. We'll run it like this. We have enough food for now. We've got 4 food items. Which is not enough food, obviously. Let's stick a lizard in the hearth, be reasonable. Don't push our luck too far. We can just survive like this for a while, actually, because we're playing ping pong. Lizards will take about a minute to fall down from 9 to 0. Okay, we've got this going, which is excellent. It's very blight rot intensive, this building, so if you can do it during the storm when blight rot does not accumulate, it's quite efficient. Do I really need you to be doing much? Let's get you out of this building when you're done with that production cycle, please. There you go, now you can go in here, please. Very good. Being inefficient as always. Yeah, let's stick you guys here. I will have newcomers arriving in 40 seconds, so let's get another shelter built. Interesting thing is that when on the higher difficulties, when the storm lasts twice as long, so the days last 12 minutes instead of 10, the villagers still arrive on every 10th minute, so it can be surprising, can catch you off guard. Let's get your food delivered now, please. Just so I've got something in the pantry. What is my build doing at the moment? You are being useful, fine. Let's get you out of here. Put you into here, please. I would really like some beavers. You know what, humans would be fine as well. I don't mind. Either. I'll take either. Low on food, yep, I know. Well, I'm getting beavers, and I'm getting parts, even though food would be nice. I'm taking the parts, please. I have no orders which give me parts, so it's definitely going to be a pinch point for me. Shove you into here, and here. Oh, that's rolling me over into number 2, I don't want that. Actually better to put this guy in here. And these guys out here. You can go away, please. Got 3 builders. Do I need all of them? No. There you go. I've got enough people, so let's be building this and this to get my hearth to the next level. Actually lasted like 2 minutes from 9 resolve. Lizards are pretty insane, even for a low resolve race. If you've got free time, might as well build me some of these, please. Am I going to be cracking into this glade this year? It's definitely possible. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Yeah, just make me 20 bricks, because I think I'll need 20 if I need any at all. Don't move the building while people are moving stuff to storage, unless you want to cancel their movement. We're not starving anymore, are we? Nah, we're fine. We've got it under control. 4 lizards getting eggs. It's pretty good. I would definitely like a rancher or something at some point, but I'm so far off of my next blueprint. You definitely could have made an argument for me re-rolling, like my herbalist camp, and I definitely wouldn't disagree with you there. But we'll see. We'll just play it out. Play some ping pong to get people nice and friendly. We're done with the stone cutter already, guys. Get some sea marrow up and going just in time for the glade event would be amazing. We should be able to rock this one pretty easily, I would say. I'd like to chuck a harpy in there if possible. Do I need 2 of you in here? I kinda do need 2 of you in here just in case. Alright, you get out of there. And you go in here. My people are stretched quite thin, but that's just life. Maybe get rid of you and put you in here. Let's get you guys cutting through that ASAP, please. There you go, that's a typical year 1. Now this is very interesting. These are basically the same idea. I tend to not like Trade Hub that much because this slowness is quite a big deal, but it is a win condition, which is definitely achievable. It's harder on the harder difficulties, obviously, because your goods are worth less amber. Hostility reduction without a drawback is just very strong, but it's not going to come into play for a little while, and I'm not that bothered about going into moderately high hostility. I can easily rock 3 during a storm, no problem. Yeah, even hostility 4 is really not crippling, besides just the resolve penalty. So, I mean, I do have 2 low resolve races, so this does get stronger. I'm not re-rolling either of these. They're both very strong in their own right. So one thing to consider is that I do have really strong goods production, which is amber value. If I can just find people to buy my planks, or turn the planks into these. So, you know, 5 wood turns into 5.5 planks to 0.15. It's multiplication of 3.3. Here I get, it's just the same value, but these are more purchasable, more sellable. I could definitely see an argument for both. I do not really care for ancient tablets, although this is strong for the trading builds, which it looks like I'll be leaning into. I don't really want to take this. Packs of luxury goods. I do have a carpenter already, don't I? Yeah. Do I have the ability to make any of these? I will do. I definitely will do. So I think I just take the guaranteed one, because I don't really want to take an ancient tablet. Normally you take ancient tablets at the cost of getting reputation instead, so I don't really like this that much, even though it does fit into the trading builds. Cut through 5 glades. This is why you want to be taking these orders before you do your glade action. Parts and simple tools are a big deal. As I said, I don't rate this very highly. I don't really want to be cutting into that many glades, but it is a guaranteed order, and it's useful for a last spurt in the last year. You just cut into some glades, you find some caches, you unlock those caches, you're golden. So I will be doing this. Now, if I want to be thinking about this logically, 60 amber worth of goods is worth 1 reputation, or it's worth or it's worth 36 hostility. 36 hostility is worth about, well, 0.6 global resolve. I just like having resolve, to be honest, and this one has a drawback, so I think that's just the strongest pick, in my humble opinion. Obviously I do want to get trade routes going at some point. I don't quite have the infrastructure for it now, so I'm not going to just yet. I'd like to pop it when I've got stuff to trade. And this amber, well, I do have stuff to trade, don't I suppose. Getting a blueprint up, yeah, there's no reason to not build it. Let's just do it. I'd like to build it in a place which isn't going to impinge on much. Let's just stick it here, please. Yeah, okay, I'm happy. Good turn of events. I can't hit anyone. A high modifier. We're good, we're good. What did we get? Did we get lucky? That's, wow, that's nasty. I haven't seen this before. Okay. They get a screenshot of that bad boy. So I've got reference. It doesn't cost anything. Getting 1 wildfire essence is good, because it gets me up to the threshold of 2. I got fertile land, which I love to see. 1 wildfire essence or half a reputation? Probably 1 wildfire essence, to be honest. Probably. This is going to be a bit tricksy. I'll get these guys up to 9, then I'll work on the event. Yeah, is that wise? No, I need to get this going now before it spawns living matter. I need to get it going now. Yeah. No, I can put 2 people on it, it'll come down to 6 minutes 30, it's fine. I'll get these guys up to 9. I want lizard houses to help survive. Definitely a couple would be wise. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just, oh, you don't be doing that. You do not need planks, you just need to be doing this. Put you at 40. Put you at 40 just for now. Not really any reason to do it, just in case. So bricks, bricks, bricks. Keep it going, keep it coming. I'm happy that I don't need to be doing any of this right now. I do desire a farm. Let's get this going quickly, please. 2, 1. Taking the big herbalist camp did pay off, rather luckily. Got some big berry bushes. Definitely had some good luck on this run. Getting clay starting is great. Getting sea marrow is great. It's a palatable event, which is fine. Getting these is pretty decent. It's pretty great, frankly. Not getting any fertile land in the first year is a bit of a bummer, but it made up for it now. I'm happy having 3 people walking around doing fuck all. Yep. Stick you people in here, please. Go, go, go. Yeah, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. I do want some spare builders. Do I have enough food? I will want a herbalist camp very soon. I could reasonably unemploy you. Do I need all these woodcutters? I can definitely afford to not have so many woodcutters for now if I want to make my life easier. But that can wait for a pinch point. I don't need this many stonecutters really. Let's get you unemployed so you can start helping me out. Yep, give me your planks. I will be making a hearth here for certain. So looks like I kind of need to wait for this event to be done either way, which is a bit of a bummer. Unless I want to carve something out for myself, which is going to take a while. It's not going to be easy. So I think I will avoid that. Yes, let's just get a warehouse built in proximity to useful places. I don't really want it this close because it's just kind of overlapping with this a bit too strongly. These trees are a bit of a pain in my backside. Go on, let's clear out this area a bit, please. I'll make the warehouse when I get around to it. Do I need a blight post? Do I anticipate a need for a blight post? I will probably hit one in both of these. Well, I will hit one in both of these without question. I will need a blight post. So let's be anticipating this. You do not want to get caught with your pants down in that situation. I will keep you at this level for now. And you know what? I think this kind of plays itself out from here. Yeah, let me know what you think. If you think I'm being a bit silly with some of my priorities and orders and such. I think I played it pretty decently. A few suboptimal moves here and there. But yeah, on the whole, it's a good run. Strong run. Thanks for watching. Hope it helped.